Okay, I guess we will begin. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Christine Osceolo. I am a franchise specialist with FranNet. Thank you all for attending our webinar this afternoon. By the way, I will be recording this, so if anybody would like the recording, let me know, or would like to share it with anyone. So who is FranNet? FranNet has been around for about 29 years. We have over 80 offices, 3 in Germany. We just opened 1 in England. We help potential entrepreneurs find a franchise that fits their profile at no cost to them. I will now introduce you Jason, who will be speaking to you about master franchising with the nation's largest hospitality recruiting firm. Okay, Jason?
Awesome. Okay, thank you very much, Christine, and I appreciate everybody joining the call today. I'm looking forward to speaking with you about Patrice and Associates. As Christine mentioned, Patrice and Associates is the largest hospitality recruiting firm in the country. We've been in business for about 25 years. We have a very strong reputation within the hospitality space for providing quality manager-level candidates for restaurants, hotels, casinos, grocery stores, wedding and event planning companies. And we also have a great reputation with our candidates, which are those managers, giving them some extra hand-holding in the process and helping them to find their next career opportunity. We've been franchising for about 6 years, since 2010. We've seen some exceptional growth over the past few years. We have about 75 single-unit franchisees and just under 15 regional developers, but we do have some regional developer and master franchises available in the Northeast, which we're certainly going to talk to you about today. We also have another model, a single or multi-unit territory model that I'm going to touch on a little bit here today. But this should be a really great overview of the hospitality recruiting industry, and specifically to Patrice and Associates, and what we can bring to the table from a franchise investment standpoint. I think will be pretty exciting for you, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. So today's agenda, I just did a quick overview. We're going to talk a little bit about the staffing in the hospitality industries. I'm not going to spend too much time on staffing because I really want to point out the growth in hospitality. Then we're going to talk about our unique market niche, some of our franchise differentiators that really set us apart from other franchise opportunities that are out there. We're going to talk about our technology, our fast ramp-up, and I'll talk to you about our different business models as well. And then we should have some time for some Q&A at the end. So as I mentioned before, we're really in 2 industries. We're in the staffing and the employment services industry. Staffing, employment services have always been steadily growing. You can see some of the stats here. The staffing industry generated approximately $32.1 billion in sales in 2015. And we're going to see that steadily growing. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that because you guys are probably pretty familiar with staffing and recruiting. But I want to talk to you about the hospitality side, which is the side that I'm most excited about. You can see this slide here, a 45-year growth chart in terms of industry sales within hospitality. 2015 was over $700 billion in terms of system-wide hospitality sales. There are over 1 million restaurants in the U.S., and there's a lot of other great stats that I'm going to share with you here in a moment. I'm going to let you read through some of these things on the slide here while I talk to you about some of the others. The Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that hospitality is a top 5 industry for employment growth through the next decade. The National Restaurant Association chief economist says that restaurant job growth is going to outpace the overall economy growth in 2016. Last year, in 2015, was the first year that Americans per capita spent more money eating out than they did buying groceries. And new restaurants and hotels are popping up on every corner. And because of that environment, coupled with the fact that there's such a high turnover rate within the restaurant space, so many restaurants, hotels are opening, individuals are bouncing around to different opportunities, it's really hard for these restaurateurs, hoteliers, whoever it may be, to find that top quality management talent. And typically these groups, we're working with national brands usually, but oftentimes it's the local group that maybe owns 5, 10, 15, 20 locations, whatever that might be. They don't have an HR department, and they're focusing on controlling food costs. They're focusing on getting customers in the door. They're focusing on opening their next location. And they don't have time to sift through resumes to find their next operations manager, general manager, executive chef, hotel manager. So they're willing to cut us, checks for anywhere from, $3,000 to $17,000 per placement to find that top quality talent to get them back into their restaurant and hotel so it can continue to operate efficiently. Patrice and Associates, as I mentioned, is the largest hospitality recruiting firm in the country. We have very strong market share. We really haven't been affected too much by competition at all. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about our database that we have in a few minutes. We have hundreds, literally hundreds of open job orders for our franchisees that they can start working from day one. More job orders really than we can fill right now, which is really exciting just because there's so much opportunity out there. But our franchisees and their recruiters are there to help those restaurateurs and hoteliers to find those managers. And you can see that there's a lot of great growth potential in hospitality. So if you're looking for a franchise that's a great long-term investment opportunity, 10 plus years, something that you can pass down to your family, something that you can ultimately sell, this is a great opportunity for you to consider. So why Patrice and Associates? Leads is what you see there in bold, and that goes back to the database, which is called Big Biller. I'll tell you about the database in a little bit, but the way you have to think about it is if you were going out there and starting your recruiting firm on your own, you're going to have to go out there and spend months to network, relationship build, and start to get the clients, the restaurants and hotels that are going to start sign contracts with you and start basically giving you the opportunity to go and look and find talent for them. We've already done that for you on a national scale, which has allowed our franchisees to start their business right away and to go in there and just start making those connections. And we'll dig into the database in a little bit, but these really are more than these are actual open job orders that we've already contracted with companies all over the country that you can start working right away while you're doing the types of things in your local market to start and generate your own accounts. Two great industries. We talked about the strong brand recognition. No monthly reporting for you. We provide all the billing and collections. We invoice the restaurants, hotels. We collect the payments, and then we funnel your placement fee to you, so you don't have to worry about hiring someone. You don't have to worry about that headache at all. Here are some of the brands that we work with. These are major brands. Again, sometimes this is a national relationship that we've created. Sometimes it's the regional groups that, again, own 5, 10, 15, 20 locations. Sometimes it's a local account that a franchisee has got, or maybe even a bigger account that's got several locations throughout a variety of states. And you can open up your accounts to the database so that other franchisees can fill those job orders, and you can make yourself an account manager and make residual income through that as well. But we work with all the major restaurant brands that you can think of, hotel brands. These are just a few here that you can see, and we have job orders right now for all of these companies that you see here on the screen. Technology-wise, this is a very scalable business. This is a extremely low overhead business. You can run this business from anywhere. Most of our franchisees work this business from home. So as long as you have your phone, your internet, and computer, you can do that. We do require, if you do purchase a region or a master franchise, that you have some sort of office space. But the individual single unit franchises, and I'll tell you how that works, they can work from home with the goal of ultimately have them opening an office one day. But if you're going to be that master or regional developer for a state or groups of states, we would want you to have at least a 500 or 600 square foot office space, something relatively low key, but where you can have an office and have a team of recruiters there, because that's going to be the central hub for your region for other franchisees that are looking to join the Patrice and Associates system, so they can come and see what what a fully functioning office looks like. But the technology-wise, it's really great. It's all access from the database. If you want to travel for a couple weeks, you can run this business from anywhere, which is pretty neat. All right, so Big Biller. Big Biller is a shared database of jobs and candidates. Big Biller is the lifeblood of both the regional developer franchise, the master franchise, as well as the single unit franchise business. That's where everything that Patrice and Associates has is contained. So to give you an idea, if you're a regional developer, you do get a single unit office, so you do have an office that you will run, which again is kind of the office that other franchisees will look to emulate. But if it's a single unit franchisee, or if it's your single unit office as the regional developer, what you can do right away after training is you can start accessing the open job orders that are within the database. And we'll have a company data sheet, and you'll see who the national account manager is. You will see everything that you need to know about that particular location, about the job order, about the parent company, about the actual benefits, the ideal candidate for this. And then you can take it even a step further. We've got about 150,000 candidates in our database that at one point of time have worked with Patrice and Associates, connected with us, one of our franchisees, one of their recruiters. We typically have their contact information, their most recent resume on file, and you or your recruiters can start building small call lists directly from the database. So you're going to be proactive, or your single unit franchisees or your recruiters are going to need to be proactive for reaching out to these individuals, or calling on other managers with local restaurants, and I'll explain that in a minute. But the database has really helped our franchisees to start cash flowing their businesses immediately after training, because of a lot of that legwork that we've done for them with our national and our regional accounts. So again, you're not supposed to rely 100% on the database. That's there always for open job orders and candidates, and you should be using that to make placements with your single unit office, or for the single unit franchisees that are going to be within your region. But with this business model, you do need to be proactive. For instance, if let's say we're working a Cheesecake Factory general manager position, and we know we're looking for someone with several years of full-service restaurant experience. Let's say we go through, however many contacts that were within that area, maybe 5, 10 contacts. We've reached out to them, and we want to branch out a little bit. So maybe that franchisee or that recruiter will call 5 or 6 other local restaurants in the area, ask for a manager. There's no gatekeepers in this business. If you call a restaurant and ask for a manager, 9 times out of 10 they're going to come to the phone, and they'll say, hey, this is Jason calling from Patrice and Associates. I either work for or I own the local hospitality recruiting firm in your area. I'm working a client engagement right now with an up-and-coming restaurant brand. Excellent opportunity for advancement, a strong salary, great benefits, great hours. Are you or somebody you know keeping your career options open at this point? And it's very easy to have conversations in this business. So this is probably the biggest piece for Patrice and Associates, is this database, so that you can start cash flowing, or so that your franchisees can start cash flowing their business quickly while they're doing the things to develop their local territory. We want you guys to be the face of Patrice and Associates in your local market, to build relationships with local restaurants and hotels that we don't have as clients yet. Because the more local accounts that you can get, the stronger relationship that you'll have. Your send out to hire ratio will get better and better, and you'll get certainly referrals as well. But that shared database is really one of the biggest things that sets us apart from other franchise opportunities. So I'm going to spend most of my time talking about the regional developer or the master franchise, but we do have another opportunity as well, the single or multi-unit model. This is the model where you can either start this business from your home. We do have some franchisees that want to start with a small office, maybe like a Regis or a WeWork office for a couple $100 a month. Lots of sales and scalability. Really it's up to you in terms of how you want to grow the business. Our ideal goal for all of our single unit franchisees is for them to ultimately have a team of recruiters and maybe a small office at some point. But it really depends upon what their goals are. We have some franchisees that come to training with their first recruiter. We have other franchisees that want to work the business on their own for 60 to 90 days and then bring on their first recruiter. It's really up to them, but the ultimate goal is to have a team of recruiters that you're managing, and then you can be out there again being the face of Patrice and Associates and growing the business in your local area. Traits of a successful franchisee: certainly a hospitality or recruiting background would help you. However, that is absolutely not a requirement. Sales experience, sales and marketing is typically the background of a successful franchisee. This is an activity-driven business, so doing the connections, the phone work, and the account development is definitely important, especially for the single unit franchise, because that's really what's going to generate the revenue. But again, the franchisee could be the one doing the calls, or they could also be the one that's focusing on account development and having a team of recruiters to do a lot of the day-to-day phone work. And it's not your typical staffing model where you have to make 100 to 150 phone calls a day. I don't want you guys to think that's an insane amount of phone work. It goes back to it being a it's pretty simple to have a conversation with the right person in this business. So we only recommend about 25 connects a day, maybe 30. If you do that, the results will certainly speak for themselves. But sales experience is definitely what we look for. Franchise fee for a single unit is $58,000. The total upfront investment is $69,000. The additional $11,000 is for training and for website and marketing. And there's a few additional, first-year startup costs, but it's, definitely under $100. So the regional developer franchises is really what we want to focus on. We've got several regions throughout the country. We have a couple regions available directly in the Northeast. This is a larger opportunity. This is an opportunity where you're essentially a franchisor, really a mini franchisor, an extension of what we're doing at the corporate office. It's going to be more of a mentoring and a coaching role, and more of a long-term investment opportunity on a different level. So let me explain it. So the regional developer franchise, you get a single unit office, and you have to have an office. Doesn't have to be a huge office, but you'll have an office. Typically, we want you to start with 4 recruiters. And the reason for that is, again, that is going to be the central hub for anyone in your area to come and see what a fully functioning office looks like. The role of the regional developer for the first 90 to 120 days once you open your doors is going to be getting that single unit operation up and running. And we are going to come out to your office, and we will do all the training with the recruiters if you don't have them all at training with you, to make sure they're all dialed in and ready to go and operate the system effectively, so that you can shift more to managing that from a high level. And then the true role of the regional developer is twofold. One, it's to work with individuals like myself and Patrice, our founder, Brian, our chief operating officer, to find qualified franchise candidates to fill slots within your territory. And each region will have 25 to 30 territories. Some regions have a couple franchisees already within those. But your role will be to work with us to find franchise candidates. And then once those candidates are up and running, you are going to be the regional support layer, and you're going to be the coach and the mentor for them on the local level, above and beyond what we are going to do from a corporate level, which I'll explain in a little bit. So this is a long-term annuity revenue opportunity. And this is the right to develop 25 to 30 territories within whatever that region is going to be. And there are 4 revenue streams for the regional developer. The first is that single unit office. That's supposed to be your ongoing cash outlay, and that's why we want to get that up and running right away. The second is all these new franchisees that are coming in, they're paying a franchise fee. You will get a portion of the franchise fee depending upon the source of the lead. Could be anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000 depending upon the source. You'll get 100% of the training fee, and then the ongoing revenue is the royalty share. We have a 10% royalty, and as the regional developer, because you're the local support system and helping us with the local support, helping those individual offices to grow and succeed, you will get 5% of the gross revenue of all the offices in your territory. So the traits of the regional developer are proven ability to develop and motivate a team, skilled in coaching and mentoring. Sales background is definitely a plus, but it's not required. And it's definitely an exciting opportunity if you're looking for something a little bit larger. We have right now we've got 6 regions across the country left. In the Northeast, we have New York, the state of New York, not including Long Island. We do have New Jersey, including Long Island, but there is someone fairly down the line there. They haven't purchased yet, but there is somebody down the line that's pretty close. But we also have Pennsylvania in the Northeast. We have Indiana, Michigan. We have one in the central region, then we also have the Pacific Northwest. So looks like I see some area codes on the line from different parts of the country, so I figured I'd mention all of those. But we do have some great regions available in the Northeast. So next slide, we're SBA approved. If you're working with FranNet, they'll be able to give you some more information on that. The Small Business Administration loves our business model, and it's a great business model to be in. I'm going to skip ahead here to the territory, and then I'm going to go back to the onboarding program. So a quick note on the territories. I mentioned for the regional developers that you get 25 to 30 slots, and then you also get a single unit territory. So for your single unit office or for a single unit franchisee, you get a territory with a minimum of 250,000 people, and then that will include a certain amount of restaurants, hotels, potential clients in your area. We will do a territory review webinar with you, one-on-one with Patrice, so that you can see what the potential of your territory looks like. But that territory is protected from a client development standpoint, meaning that another franchisee cannot go into your territory to actively market to any restaurants and hotels in that area. That is for you to develop over time. So that's protected. However, one of the coolest things about this business is that, especially because of the open job orders that we have, you're free to work the entire country. We have national accounts. We have regional accounts. You might get accounts. You could be working with an account in New York or New Jersey that maybe owns 15, 20, 30 locations up and down the Northeast, maybe the Mid-Atlantic. If you get an account like that, that's certainly a possibility. You're free to make placements anywhere in the country, which is another unique thing. You have that protected territory for client development, but you can place people anywhere. Additional advantages, there's no gatekeepers in this business. Like I mentioned, it's not like a traditional like B2B or tech snapping. There's not a bunch of individuals that you have to go through to get to the right person. If you reach out to a restaurant and ask for a manager, 9 times out of 10 the manager is going to come to the phone. If you go into the restaurants at the right times, you're definitely going to be able to talk to someone that controls the hiring. So there's no gatekeepers. Great industry flexibility if you want a flexible lifestyle, and it's a scalable model with low startup cost. So we have one more slide here, and then we'll wrap up. I want you to know that we are a very family-oriented company, very much an open-door policy, talking to Patrice, talking to Brian, our Chief Operating Officer. We want you to know that this is a close-knit relationship. We are going to tell you up front if we don't think that you're going to be a good fit, because we want you to know that we're not just about collecting a check. We want to make sure that you're the right individual that's going to be a good fit for us. We're going to be a good fit for you. in terms of what your goals are, what your transferable skills are. And once you get on board, there is a lot that's going to happen to ensure that you're successful. This is a 3 to 6 month onboarding program that I want you to know about. Once you sign the agreement, you're going to do pre-training, which is about a week of virtual pre-training that you can do from your home. Actual training is 2 weeks in Maryland, just outside of Annapolis. The first week is just to be getting into the details of a day in the life of a franchisee, how we do recruiting calls, how we do phone screens, how we build resumes, how we develop accounts, how we help you with hiring recruiters, business plans. And then the second week is more on-the-job training in our Maryland recruiting office. After that, there's 3 things that we do, and this is pretty cool. The first thing is we do a 6-week group coaching call. So 6 weeks after training, twice a week, you're going to come to a coaching call with everybody that you came to training with. We're going to sharpen the saw. We're going to go over everything that we talked about. We are going to see what's going on in your business, see what we can learn from other franchisees. And it's a great way to cement those concepts that we learned at training, and also for you to build relationships with those individuals that made an investment the same time that you did. The second thing that we do is a weekly coaching call, which is a laser-focused performance plan review with an assigned coach. And they're going to go over everything specific to your business, calls that we're doing, people we have out for interviews, hires, anything that you need help with. We'll laser focus that in on our weekly performance call. And what I think is the coolest piece is you're actually going to have a franchisee mentor. So there's going to be a franchisee that's been doing it very successful that's going to be assigned to you, and you're required to talk to that franchisee every single day for the first 90 days of your business. They're going to help you review every resume. They're going to make sure you're submitting 8 candidates. They're going to answer any questions. They're going to be a sounding board. So you're going to have support from corporate. If it's a single unit franchise, you're going to have regional developer support. If it's the franchisee mentor level as well, there's a lot of things that are going to happen to help you to be successful. If you open a regional developer office, all of these things happen, as well as Brian Martin, our director of training, will come out to your office, sit down with your recruiters, and really help your office to get up and running. The single unit franchise, you're welcome to bring a recruiter or 2 with you to training. We want to make sure that we find the right recruiter for you. I want to make sure you guys know that. If it's not the right person, we'll wait till after training, and we can help you find the right person with phone interviews with our recruiter toolkit. We have some recruiter assessment tools. We'll make sure that we help you find the right person. So there's lots of training and support there for you. Last slide here is just some safety nets. We talked about these, lots of flexibility, quick cash flow. We have lots of new franchisees for you to talk to that are cash flowing their business very quickly because of our training and support, because of our database. Very recession-resistant business, great long-term investment opportunity. So I think I kept it under 30 minutes there, Christine. I'd love to, maybe see if anybody has any questions.
Yes, I'm going to unmute all the lines.
The conference has been unmuted.
So if anybody has any questions, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. Excuse me. What is the the average salary of one of the people you place, and what's the fee that you charge the hiring restaurant?
That's a great question. Thanks for bringing that up. So it's going to depend upon the open job order. I'll tell you that this could be something as entry level as a QSR manager, a hotel assistant hotel manager, maybe a sous chef that makes $35,000 to $40,000 a year. We place a lot of managers, general managers that make $40,000 to $80,000 a year. We place restaurant and hotel executives, executive chefs that have 6-figure salaries. Just really depends upon the open job order. Typically, it's probably going to be a fee somewhere between 10 to 15% of that individual's annual salary. Sometimes we can get as high as 20% if it's an executive level position. Our average placement fee for franchisees that have been in business for a year that have their own accounts was just under $6,000. It was $5,900 on average. That being said, just in the last couple weeks, we've had $6,000, $9,000, $10,000, $13,000, $16,000 placements So it really just depends upon the open job order.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Well, I might be the only one asking questions. You brought up New Jersey, and you said someone's pretty far down the line, so we should probably assume New Jersey's not on the table.
I guess for today's call, yes. I'll know more in about a week or so. Nothing's been signed or anything like that, so but there is someone pretty far down the line. But all of New York is available, as I mentioned, Pennsylvania, and there's tons of single and multi-unit opportunities available in New Jersey.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, well, thank you very much, Jason. I will be sending everybody the recording. You have any questions or would like further information, you can contact myself, Boynton, Jack, or John. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks for learning a little bit more.
Bye-bye.